comment about the performance of certain refs and stuff. But speaking about the Usyk getting hit under the belt, that didn't look like he got hit under the belt against Daniel Dubois. How would you handle that situation if you were in the ring that night?
Well, that again will get me in trouble, but just let me say this. You guys can be your own judge. What I would like to do for you guys, and I've done it for other people as well, is I will define clearly beyond any shadow of a doubt what a low blow is and what a low blow isn't. So there's a lot of controversy because people just don't understand what's written in the books, and some of the books were written incorrectly. And here, how that happened is people have confused 4 terms: the belt line, the waistband line, the hip line, and the waistband. They've been convoluting those 4 terms into one. And the reality is, did you guys grow up playing Simon Says ever in school?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. And butts up.
Would you appease me for a moment?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Right now, everybody stand up. Okay. Simon Says, put your hands on your hips. Okay. Now watch what I'm doing on the screen. I'm going to slide my fingers around till they come together. Right. You guys do the same thing.
Just did it.
That's your hip line. That's the top of your hip. Where is your belly button compared to your fingers right now?
Right here.
Like yours is
an inch width.
Hey, yours is a 4-inch gap, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
It's a little bit closer than Dave's.
Okay. So the point with this is the belly button moves different on different people.
Yes, absolutely.
It is,
right.
Mario. It's no 2 people are alike. But the hip line is always where it's going to be. You have a thoracic, an abdominal, and a pelvic cavity, and the top of the hip line ends the pelvic cavity. And a cup, a protective and foul-proof cup, was made to reach the top of the hip line across the top. So,
well, I know if you're a beer drinker that it's going to be like 8 inches away from your hip line, right? You know, because the stomach extends and stuff. That's like 98% of boxing fans that we're talking about right there. So, yeah, completely different. But go ahead, Jack.
It's different. So it's the legal part is the top of the hip line, from the top of the hip line to the top of the other hip line. So let me just tell you something. In some sports, if your foot touches the line, you're out of bounds. But like tennis, if the ball hits the line, it's fair, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Boxing, a punch. If this is the hip line right here, this is the line. A punch that's on the hip line is legal.
Ooh, yes.
The term, it's got to be below the hip line. Below the hip line. So until the glove starts drifting down to maybe where only one finger was really on that hip line, a referee shouldn't say anything. And if it's still on the hip line with one finger, on the first couple of times it happens, keep them up. Hey, watch yourself. Keep them up. When it's below that, it's definitely a low blow. Does that make sense?
No, that makes perfect sense, Jack. And
very clear.
I want to comment on that because a lot of fans following that fight, and also some big writers in boxing, were complaining that it was clearly a low blow, not even close, can't even debate it. And my issue is, normally we see whether it's the instructions in the dressing room or the final instructions just before the bell, the referee will determine, hey, this is good and this is good on either guy. And again, because some guys wear the trunks high, you can't see the navel, or like you said, the hip line. Sometimes you can. That didn't happen in that fight. So fans are going off of reciting the ABC rules about navels, and like you said, navels, belt lines, waistlines, all these things. So I'm glad that you said what you said right now, Jack, because that makes complete sense to me. But for some fans, for some reason, it doesn't. I don't get it.
Do you guys remember when Howard Letterman used to throw up the rules before the fight up on the screen? I don't understand why they don't do that anymore for us, for fans to understand what they're about to witness or view.
I don't understand either, but I got to tell you just brought up a great topic there, Dave. So back in the old day when Tyson and those guys, even before Tyson in his era, they wore trunks with a 1-inch waistband. Now, what's his name? Emiliano Vargas.
Yeah.
He wore a 7 or an 8-inch waistband in his
Oh.
last fight with double advertising on it. He had 2 names on it because these guys are getting paid for things or they put their family
Right.
on it.
Sponsorship. Yeah.
So the belt, the top of the waistband comes up just below the solar plex.
Right.
Those are not low blows. Those are legal shots. So it confuses people, but I hope what I was able to communicate to you guys won't confuse people anymore. And going back to the question you asked about in the center of the ring,
Yeah.
when you, to me, and you know, like my buddies Russell Mora, Tom Taylor, Ray Corona, when we got a fighter that his trunks are high in the center of the ring, we identify the top of the hip. So the fans and the corners, so there's not going to be an argument. This is the line right here. So we try to make it simpler, and some guys just don't do it. I don't know why.
That's great.
Going back with Luis, and I know, like you said, you can't, talk about that, but is there any time with the commission do you feel that should step in? Because I'll just tell you my thought about Luis, that what he did with the Dubois and then at the AJ fight with Usyk, he did it twice. He just didn't do it once. These are 2 separate fights. Jack, do you believe that there's got to be a point where there's got to be some type of like investigation or something in terms of going back and looking at these fights and going, okay, you might have fell into the whole starstruck moment?
I can't comment on exactly what you're saying, but I will say this. There are plenty of times when a rule is violated or a referee has made an egregious mistake,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't have instant replay, that the commissions, especially in California, anytime in a fight, either corner, if they feel they've been unjustly ruled in a situation, have 5 days to file a written protest. The commission will take that protest to the next commission meeting and hear from both sides. The referee is normally present, or the judges, whatever the case may be. They show it on a 40, 50-foot screen over and over again, try to make their points. And we have overturned decisions here in California. And I want to add something to that. I make mistakes. I'll tell you guys, I miss things. I make mistakes. I'm human. They're moving one way. I'm trying to not get caught up in the corner. I'm moving the other way. I'm directly behind them. I miss a headbutt or whatever it is, right? It happens. The guys who deny it, those are the guys that you don't want to deal with. We all make mistakes. That's why they have 6 or 8 guys on a football field and they're allowed to get in a huddle. We don't have that. But we have now instituted instant replay in California and other places as well. It's growing. The ABC just added it. Association of Boxing Commissions. For those fans out there that don't know what the ABC is, they made the unified rules that we use in championship fights. It's a great organization. And they're recommending instituting replay because I have found, me and other guys, we've found that when there's something that's controversial and maybe we miss something, right? A headbutt, just say, and we called it a punch, and they show it and we can correct it in live time right there. The fans, the promoters, everyone's forgiving to us because we got it right. We made it right instead of living with the bad call. So I wish everybody would do it.